Hey guys, made it to 495. Oh my God, it is nerve-wracking. Got Pete behind this 32-foot Oday Loadmaster trailer. Welcome back, folks. As you can see, we successfully got the boat back on the trailer. We got all the flags on, wide load flags. We strapped it down. We got another rental truck ready to go. As you can see here, the leaf spring for culprit, as we discussed before last week. So it was a minor setback, but we did manage to get the tires swapped out. You can see in the background there all the pressure on that middle axle. So that was fun getting that swapped out. But you know, it's what it is. You have to keep going. Was I nervous going back into it? Absolutely. But you know, you can't sit back on your laurels and wait for it to happen. So luckily I had an escort the next time around. Me and Pete got the boat, and also we did manage to fix the middle post as well, to get that going. So this is step 3, getting the boat back to the house. Hey guys, made it to 495. Oh my God, it is nerve-wracking. Got Pete behind this 32-foot Oday Loadmaster trailer. Hopefully we don't get a flat. That's all I need is a flat. And I'm sketched out. Oh no, pumps! Oh, nerve-wracking. So like, let's say you were from Manchester. Like it's like being on the Mancunian way, as opposed to being out on a country road. And the trailer is like all over the show. We got a 10,000-pound boat on the back of this bad boy. And I am not pushing it to go fast at all. I'm trying to really cruise. I'm at 41 miles an hour right now. And you know, I'm even nervous about that because I don't know this trailer, and the tow hitch I've got needs an extension so they can lower it down a little bit. So basically the front of the trailer needs to come down a little bit. And it's hard to navigate the road through construction and stuff like that. But we're coming up on a really busy area where it's like, you know, multi-international business and all that. We're getting out of the country. So normally the ride's about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max. We're pushing probably just close to 4 hours. We started at like 6 a.m. We got down to the yard for 8. We strapped up. We checked all the checks that we could check. And I think we got on the road just about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we're doing all right. It's 12:41 now. We're not in rush hour traffic or anything like that. But I just want to get this thing back. I mean, I just want to feel that relief because it is nerve-wracking. Absolutely the scariest thing I've ever done. What's really cool about this is the trailer brake. You can adjust it with this piece here. You can adjust the gain on it. Right now, I'm at just above 1.5. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that you make with doing big hauls like this is trying to calibrate the trailer, because the way you're supposed to do is go like 5 miles an hour and then squeeze the adjuster. But for whatever reason, that's not working. So I'm just trying to do it by by eye, adjusting the gain back and forth. But it's a challenge. It's a real challenge to get it right. One of the things that we had to consider, and I would suggest anyone planning on doing this to consider, is obstacles. You know, it's one thing to have a boat at a marina where there's lots of open space, and they particularly use spots where there's, you know, easy flow in and out. This is a residential area with parked cars on both sides, which is difficult to navigate even without a 10,000 pound sailboat hitched to the back of your truck. So you can imagine we had to really consider what time of the day to bring the boat down this road and how we were going to get it on the driveway, because what you'll notice in our particular driveway is there's lots of cables that slope down onto the house. This meant we had to be extra careful to make sure that we lifted the wires that were necessary to get the boat on the drive. The bottom wires aren't power cables, it's the top one that you can see there that is a power cable. So obviously that was a really tricky thing to navigate. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we made it. We got the boat successfully from Washburn's Boatyard to my house here in Maryland. The trip was quite nerve-wracking and full of things that I wish I could have recorded, but just with the sheer pressure of what we were trying to achieve and the reality of making sure we got back in one piece. Unfortunately, I didn't get to record everything that was like recorded, but we did get some little bits here for you to see. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, we successfully made it back. The boat is actually stable on my driveway, which is a blessing. Had help from my buddy Pete, which was really cool. To get him to come down, we started early in the morning, like I said, and we got off. Where I go from here is going to be a bit tricky because I've been away from the boat for a long time since we got it back. Quite a bit has happened since I've got it back. Number one key thing is I've gotten most of the engine out, and I need to basically just get the block out. The biggest hassle, the reason why it's taken so long to produce anything, was because I couldn't stay in England. I tried to work in England, be supportive of my girlfriend and my boys, and also try to run repairs on this boat from a different continent. And it got to a point where I realized that that was unrealistic, and I was going to have to make a choice whether to move back to the United States temporarily and reestablish myself here, or to continue to go back and forth between the United States and England. So what I have chosen to do was to temporarily move to the United States. So I got back here in back in the beginning of October, and I actually, we're now here November 12th. And so far so good. I've got a job, working remote, and we'll talk more about that and the realities of owning a sailboat. And things are going ahead. What's been really difficult so far has been the breakup of my relationship, which I'm sure some of you will have experienced if you're in this game. Quite often you'll have partners that may not or just don't have the position to follow your dreams with you. And in my case, I think the whole pressure of boat life just became an issue. The idea of me being gone for several months and going back in between just didn't work out for our relationship. So that was a big reason why it took so long to get to the point I'm at now, because I had to make a choice, which I didn't want to make. I didn't want to choose between my partner and my boat, because there is no choice. It's always going to be her. But the reality is, I'm a United States citizen who lives in Britain, has a home in Britain, has worked in Britain for the past 20 years. But I also have responsibilities in the United States, especially as a vet. And so I won't get too deep into that. But basically, where I'm at now is we're back in Maryland. The plan is to eventually get the boat to Honolulu. And I want to say also, I don't have ambitions to circumnavigate the globe. I don't have some far-fetched dream which stems from, something that you watch from a YouTube channel. Yes, I have a lot of YouTube channels that I follow and that I watch for DIY purposes, but the reason why I have a sailboat is more practical reasons. Again, I mentioned I have a house in the United Kingdom. I don't like flying. It's very difficult to get things back and forth. It's very expensive, very stressful. Reality is, my ambitions with sailing and having a boat are specific destinations. One is Honolulu. The other one is United Kingdom and the Med. I don't want to go to French Polynesia. I don't want to go to all these sort of exotic places, because to me, you have to be completely retired to do that. So I don't have the freedom to do a circumnavigation. And this is more about enjoying Maryland and the experience as a boater in Maryland, and basically having another boat in the United Kingdom that I can take to the Met, because Sand Dollar is an Oday32 center cockpit, and at best she'll have a complete Dodger Bimini, but this is not a kind of boat that I would want to be in an English winter. The only place that this boat will ever sail is either down the ICW and then across the Panama Canal to onto Hawaii, and that's it. That's all this boat is good for, in my opinion. I love Oday boats. I'm a part of that whole Oday forum. This boat has a 4.5 to 5 foot draft. The beam is 10.5 feet. It has a small galley. It's just perfect for a coastal cruiser. Would it make it to Hawaii? Yes, because it has a 3,000-pound ballast. But you'll see that right now I've sort of sanded everything. What I've concentrated on since I've got back, because of weather purposes, is getting the bottom of the boat sanded down and get it completely sanded all the way back down to the barrier coat, because it did take on water when I bought it. I don't know where the water came in. So anything where it could be an issue, i.e. the kill, i.e. The hull being compromised, the fiberglass having blisters in it, any sort of osmosis, any sort of damage that could cause this boat to sink again, I'm going to strip it back. I'm not going to use ablative paint this time, even though I've mistakenly bought some. I'm going to use hard paint because I want it to be faster. According to the specs, this boat does maximum 8 knots, and I've seen it do that. I'm probably not comfortable, but I imagine if I can keep her at 6 knots, that would be a realistic goal. This boat for me is all about comfort and warm weather. It is not about getting the rails in the water. I don't want to race. I'm not that kind of guy. I just want to be comfortable, put some music on, and be able to bring my little office, which I'll be working in, with me wherever I go. And when I go back to England, I'm going to be looking for a pilot house, classic boat. I will not own a French boat. That's not my thing, or any sort of the modern production boats. I love leaky tikis. That's my thing, and modern surfboards. But with this venture, this boat here, I got for a really good price, and to me, it's the most affordable and practical thing you can have as sort of like a cruiser, if there is such a thing. Just with a limited budget and working remotely, having the Starlink, and you know, just needing a place where you can put your head down, and if you wanted to have some guests over, you can. This is that kind of boat. But yeah, that's where we're at. We got the boat back safely.